Hi squad, and welcome back. We are getting really close with Professor Layton and the Curious Village. There's a lot of things that have been revealed, and I think we're coming very, very close to the end of this game. So we've just left the sewers, and we've just left this weird little room that's got a key possibly to the dead end of the tower. So we've just got out of the sewers, and so Luke now here is encouraging Professor Layton to get going. I think it's just in case we've forgotten in the 2 seconds between when we said let's go to the dead end and to let's investigate that dead end right away. Alright Luke, but first let's make a quick visit to the inn. There's something I need to check there. Okay, so we've got to go there first. Why the inn, Professor? It seems that someone doesn't want us around, Luke. Someone is, in fact, after us. And the key to identifying this scoundrel is back at the inn. So he thinks that this creepy guy with the big moustache and the remote control Ferris wheel is staying at the inn. Don't know. So if you already have an idea about who's behind this. Haha, piped your interest, haven't I? So chapter 8, so the shadowy intruder. Someone's been obstructing the investigation. Find the troublemaker and continue work on the case. Hello, Professor. Is something the matter? You look a little shaken. Beatrice, I have an urgent request. Could you show me the newspapers from the last couple of days? The papers? Certainly. Hang on for just a moment while I fetch them for you. That's strange. I'm sure I put them down around here somewhere. Is there a problem? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I can't seem to find them anywhere. Even today's morning paper seems to have gone missing. I see. Well, thank you just the same, Beatrice. This has been most helpful. Just what was in those papers anyway, Professor? Raymond! Yoo-hoo! Professor Layton! Raymond, and what do we owe this visit? Oh, he told me I needed to find you and bring you to Reinhold Manor. The inspector, I mean. Oh, he and Lady Dahlia await your arrival at Reinhold Manor. Thank you for the message. We will set out for the manor in just a few moments. No, we're supposed to go to the tower. Stop getting sidetracked. Can we go to the manor, or is he going to tell it? Tower. We probably will. It will tell us to go back to the manor because they want us to follow a line. It's her again. You found the key to the tower, haven't you? How do you know about the key? You mustn't interfere with the tower. Whatever you do, just stay away from there. Interfere? What do you mean by that, dear? No. Okay. Visit the manor. Go away, Raymond, and your big purple lips. Let's get this over and done with. Welcome back, Professor Layton. Please come in. Everyone is waiting. Thank you, Matthew. Is something troubling you, my good man? You seem ill at ease. Oh no, I'm fine, sir. Please make your way to the parlour. All right, if you're certain that nothing's the matter, we'll head upstairs. Is he going to disappear next? Ah, Mr. Layton. Thank you for arriving so promptly. Have a seat. Why have you called us here, Professor Chemley? Tell me. I still can't get that right. Like you. I'm not the kind of man who just beats around the bush. I'll just come out with it. I'm on to you, Layton. It's clear as day. You are responsible for Simon's death. Are you suggesting I murdered Simon? Nonsense. Nice, Layton. I have to admire the way you keep cool under pressure. But of course, I would expect nothing less from a cold-blooded killer such as yourself. You're an idiot. I don't suppose you've seen this before, eh? This vase was on display in the room in which Simon was found dead. All the forensic evidence I've gathered suggests the killer was struck Simon with this vase. Our killer was no professional. You see, he left his fingerprints all over the murder weapon. Fingerprints that match your own, Mr. Layton. Oh, that's the vase from the market, isn't it? You rotten murderer! If this vase is evidence, why did you just break it like it was nothing? So go on, give me an alibi, Layton. Where were you when Simon was killed? Come on, out with it! I was with Luke, investigating the matters down in the village. Is that the best you can muster? It's clear this little brat is an accomplice to your crime. Admit it, Layton. You two wanted to keep the golden apple so badly you conspired to murder Simon. You can't fool me, Layton, so cough up and start talking. While I'm at it, I'll take the key to the tower you picked up too. Seems you're intent on pinning this crime on me, Inspector. But if you're a true enforcer of the law, you'd acknowledge that I'm not the only reasonable suspect. Any member of the household could have committed the crime. In fact, you can't rule out the possibility that everyone here had a hand in the murder. Furthermore, are we even sure that a murder took place here? What kind of nonsense are you sprouting now? Do you really think anyone here is fooled by your crackpot theories? Inspector Chelmy, I'm beginning to think the only person here with something to hide is you. That's absurd. This has nothing the slightest to do with me.
No, Inspector, it has quite a bit to do with you. Meaning? Isn't it obvious? If there is any criminal element involved in this case, then it is you, sir. What? That's absurd.
Hey, calm down.
What utter rubbish! You'll need more than some death charge to save your hide.
I've heard you're quite the devoted husband, Inspector. I bet you take very good care of your wife, Jane. Luke and I found this article in the paper. Luke, what was Inspector Chelmy's favourite food again? Oh, fresh cakes. That's weird. That was a mechanic that hasn't come up at all in this entire game. This article specifically states you love cakes, and yet you raged at poor Matthew when he brought you cakes with tea. Why? And your point is, it just so happens that I have a fondness for Jane's cakes. Is that so? Thank you, Inspector. This little conversation has made things quite clear. Please take a look at this. I believe you just called them Jane's cake, yes? I'd like everyone to look at this article. As you can all see, the article clearly states that Inspector Chelmy's wife is Emily, not Jane. Do you mean to tell me that you've forgotten your own wife's name? Urgh. Out with it then. Who are you and why have you been impersonating Inspector Chelmy? And why have you been running this investigation? Grr. But your sudden memory loss regarding your wife's name isn't the only suspicious thing about you. Try to recall the time around Simon's death. You said you received a report that prompted you to come to St. Mystery, but you forgot one thing. After Luke and I arrived, the drawbridge that is St. Mystery's sole entrance had its crank stolen. This effectively sealed the village. From that point on, no one could enter or leave the village. And do you recall just when this seclusion began? Oh, when did the drawbridge shut down? During the search for Claudia, I'm pretty sure. Correct. The only route out of the village had been closed well before Simon's death was discovered. After that event, there was no way that anyone could enter the village from the outside. By the same token, there was no way to take things out of the village, particularly something as large as a corpse. So tell me, Inspector Chelmy, when did you actually first set foot in St. Mystery? And furthermore, what did you do with Simon's remains? While we're on the subject, I have one more nagging question that I haven't been able to work out yet. How is that you knew about the key to the tower was discovered? When we happened upon that key, there wasn't a soul in the area apart from Luke and myself. Furthermore, I've spoken of what we found there to no one. There's no conceivable way you could have known about this key. Unless, of course, you were spying on us from the shadows when we found it. Creepy. Very creepy. Now let me see if I've got this correct. You posed as the inspector and used Simon's death as an excuse to enter Reinhold Manor. Since then, you've been waiting for an ideal time to strike and steal the golden apple from us. How am I doing so far? Yeah. What's so funny? This is no laughing matter. I'm just astounded at how despicable I find you, Layton. But that's exactly why you're worthy of being my arch enemy. I've always despised you, Layton. Oh, that would look weird on your screen. It's very split person. Don Palo, I thought I'd be able to crush you once and for all in Saint Mystery, but that'll have to wait since you saw through my disguise. You haven't caught on yet, but Saint Mystery hides a secret of epic proportions. When I imagine a dimwit like you trying to unravel the mystery, I just have to smile. My business here for the day has come to an end, so I'll be off now. But listen closely, Layton. Never forget how close you came to being bested. One day I, the great Don Paolo, will rain my vengeance down upon you. And on that fearful day you will beg for an umbrella and a raincoat. Perhaps even some galoshes. Yeah. Gosh. That's what you can say? Well, that was stupid. You could have just run down the door. I guess he's gone. Do you know who that man was? Don Paolo was his name. I've heard stories of him. His grasp of the hard sciences is rumoured to be unrivaled. The problem is, as you might guess, his personality. Although he is a genius, the man is evil. The science board has banished him from working officially in the field ever again. Sneaking into St. Mystery to steal the Reinhold fortune seems like the kind of scheme he would hatch. So he's decided he's Layton's archenemy. Okay. He seems to hold quite a grudge against you, Professor. What did you do to cross him? I haven't the slightest idea, Luke. Well, that aside, what was all the talk of a secret hidden in the village? What was he referring to? I'm mystified by it myself. I thought you had an idea what was going on, Layton. For the time being, though, let's focus on finding the golden apple, shall we? I say we follow our newest lead and head for that tower. Let's check out the dead end from before, Luke. Okay, finally. Although, that was interesting. I'd forgotten about that part. So, the person obstructing the investigation, the troublemaker, is the arch nemesis. Okay. So, out of the 10 mysteries, because we've got all the 10 mysteries now, we have completely solved one of them. But most of them, I think, wrap up in the last chapter or two. It's a dead end, no two ways about it. Maybe there's another path to the tower hidden around here. I'd argue that we've come to exactly the right spot, Luke. What do you mean by that? Look right here, Luke. There's a small indentation in the wall where one could place a small object. Oh, so this must be... Yes, this curious indentation is no doubt the spot indicated in Baron Reinhold's note to Archibald. I don't remember what that was. I'm willing to wager that if we put this in there and give it a turn... So it's a keyhole. Could have just said it's a keyhole. Did that just rip part of the wall apart? Like, look at all the little wires and things. Wow. Just as I suspected. Alright, Luke, in we go. Just like that. Just walk through the front door. Chapter 9. The path to the tower has been found. Scale the tower? Scale the tower. Are we going to do some, like, rock climbing? And solve all the mysteries of Saint Mystery. Oh, I wonder whether this is going to be the last episode or not. We'll see. There we go. So, the key. We've solved that puzzle. Okay, it's a door. Woo, door. Oh, who's this going to be? I'll just give my own voice. I suppose congratulations are in order. You've made it this far after all. Of course, it looks like you've left quite a few of my puzzles in the village untouched. What? What was that? Where did that voice come from? I've hidden all sorts of wonderful puzzles around Saint Mystery. Go back to the village, traveller, and test your mettle against a few more of my puzzles. I've come up to a puzzle block. I'm not so unreasonable that I'd make you solve every single puzzle before passing through here, but you're sorely mistaken if you think I'll let you through with less than 75 puzzles to your name. Come back when you've got the goods. Who do you think suppose that was? A narrator. That's who it was. I can't quite place it. Regardless, it seems that that mystery will have to wait. If we don't solve 75 puzzles first, we'll never make it inside the tower. Let's go back to the village. Okay, so I'm going to pause it here because I have quite a few. I've only got through 53 puzzles. I'm not going to make you sit through this again. Well, I didn't last time either, but... So I'm just going to pause it quickly. I'm going to just go solve a heap of puzzles. I'm not going to show you all of them because we would be sitting here for a few hours just solving puzzles. If you are interested in puzzles and wanting to solve them yourself and stuff, I recommend going and getting one of the Professor Layton games because, yeah, it's really good. I'm not going to go through it. Anyway, I'll be back in 2 minutes, or probably more like an hour, but okay. See you soon. Okay, we're back. I know we've changed places. I've just walked around and I've solved 75 puzzles now, so we're ready to go. But while I was walking around, I discovered this little one. So we'd missed this little piece of diary and I thought it might be interesting. So, look at this, Professor. It was lying on the ground. It appears to be a scrap of notepaper. Would you read it aloud for me? No problem, Professor. Alright, let's see. The older she gets, the more young Miss is catching on to this village secret. She seems lonely, which is probably why the boss asked me to build an amusement park for her. Yep, it certainly looks like I've got my work cut out for me. The young Miss mentioned here must be Flora. The whole park was built just for her. I don't understand this other line. What's all this business about a secret in the village? I just wasn't ready to handle the boss's death. Poor young Miss. She's all alone in the world now. But no matter what happens, I have to keep going and take care of her in the boss's place. Page ends there. Baron Reinhold sounds like he truly loved his daughter more than anything. Fate can be so cruel. Okay, so wasn't really enlightening, but yeah. There's a person here writing some interesting things, and obviously it's been quite recent that he's been writing that. So let's go back to the tower. And we'll actually find out everything that's going on. And also I want to point out, Agnes, this old woman here, is pointing to the entrance to the tower. Which is kind of cool. Well, it looks like you've solved at least 75 puzzles. Alright then, go on in the tower. Narrator. This place gives me the goosebumps. Plus, it's all murky in here. I can't see a thing. Oh, my. Ah! Oh, what's happening? Oh, my head. Luke, are you alright, my boy? No injuries, I hope? Don't worry, Professor, I'm fine. And yourself? Nothing a good long bath later won't solve, but more importantly, where are we? This room is full of curious machines. I've never seen anything like them. What do you suppose they do? What in the world? Look over here on the wall, Professor. My word. There are pictures of the villagers displayed here? And what's this? There's a key for almost every villager. Professor, what if someone's using this place to keep an eye on what's going on in St. Mystery? Look, there are stairs over there. Let's get out of here. This place gives me the shivers. See, that Simon is blacked out and there's no key. Yes, you're quite right, Luke. Let's head out. Oh, creepy looking doll thing down the bottom. What's this? You! You two again? What are you doing here and what are you up to? Just a moment, sir. What are you talking about? I knew it. You came here to steal my secrets, didn't you? Didn't you? Don't play dumb with me. I see right through you. Don't think I haven't been watching. I've seen you two sniffing around every nook and cranny in the village, obstructing my work. Now I've had it. So unless you want trouble, give me back number 35. Please calm yourself, sir. Just listen to what we have to say for a moment. We haven't intended to get in the way of your work. We are merely searching for the golden apple. Neither of us knows anything about this number 38 business. Oh? Did you just say the golden apple? You're really here looking for the golden apple then? Precisely. Do you know anything that could have been help to us? So that's how it is, eh? What you're looking for is on the top floor of the tower. But watch out, because the puzzles in this tower are harder than a diamond-tipped drill. I know they call you the puzzle master, but are you sure you have what it takes to solve them? I messed up his voice, sorry. Now, why would you go and tell us something like that? I bet you just want to set us up to walk right into some sort of trap. What positive I would possibly gain from doing something like that? Not to mention it's my duty to guide those who seek the golden apple towards their goal. Some mischief maker sneaks into the village and had me all confused. But I think I've worked things out now. Seeing as it's your duty and that, would you mind filling us in? What is St. Mystery's big secret? Alright. The name's Bruno. Work for the Reinhold family. For some time now, I've managed St. Mystery from up here in the tower. Manage St. Mystery? You're the one who manages the life of each of the villagers, aren't you? What in the world are you two talking about? Surely you must have seen them too, Luke. Do you recall the cogs we found in the village and the keys we just saw? All the villagers in St. Mystery are robots created by Bruno. Dun dun dun! What do you mean? The villagers are all robots? In other words, the inhabitants of St. Mystery aren't human, but intricately constructed machines. They're robots, my boy. I have to say, I'm astonished that anyone could build such an elaborate machines in this day and age. You must be quite the engineer, sir, because we're like set back in time. Oh, aren't you a sharp one? I never imagined you'd work out so much of the mystery by yourself. What do you mean, sir? St. Mystery isn't a real village, Luke. It was constructed by Bruno and the late Baron. How am I doing so far, Bruno? You're absolutely correct. Master believed that one day an heir worthy of his fortune would come forward. He had me build this village and all who dwell in it to prepare for that day. Then he hid his greatest treasure, the golden apple, away on the top of the floor of this tower. I was ordered to protect it with my life. Now the Scottish starts coming out. Until the person arrived who can solve the puzzle of the golden apple, I will continue to protect it. Why, after all this time, suddenly I'm starting to get back into my Scottish accent, and this guy's accent has changed like 6 times. Oh, damn it. Missed that. It's not just any treasure, mind you. The golden apple was the Baron's most treasured treasure. But why go through all of this just to hide treasure? Why build an entire village to protect it? Oops. Seems like a little loose-lipped here. I already said more than I should have. The answers you're looking for are waiting for you at the top of the tower. Go on then. Show me if you're the one who can solve the puzzle of the golden apple. Okay, number 4, number 5, number 4 and number 6 have been solved. So yeah, that's what it was alluding to. If you hadn't gathered by that point that all of them were robots, yeah, that's it. They're all robots, and it looks like it was all kind of designed, yeah, just around protecting. So yeah, there's still a few more mysteries though, but that's just the general thing. Is they built an entire town. They created all the buildings, everything, villages, everything to protect this. So, Professor, look, the stairs are barred off. Aha, this must be one of the puzzles Bruno warned us about. It does look quite difficult. Well, my boy, are you ready for a challenge? 94, get the ball. Oh, okay. Another one of these. Okay, 21. So it's probably taking me about 50. Yay, did it. Lots of trial and error.
Layton's apprentice saves the day.
Cool, that means we can get up to the gate. Not the gate, up the staircase. Yes. No, I had lots of shuffling backwards and forwards. There we are. Come on, Luke. We must press on. Alright, lead the way, Professor. Say, Professor, there's something that's been on my mind for a while. Oh, what is it, Luke? When the crank for the bridge was stolen, we were sealed in the village along with Don Paolo? It could just be me, but I feel like this wasn't just a coincidence. Somebody planned it. But who? Well, Luke, I don't have any direct evidence of it, but I'll wager it was Bruno's doing. Bruno? Why in the world would Bruno do something like that? Do you remember what he said? It's his duty to show the way to those who seek the golden apple. But naturally Bruno has no idea what kind of people would come into St. Mystery seeking that treasure. It's likely that he trapped us in the village to buy himself some time to evaluate who we were. He wanted to see if we were worthy of the secret. That's terribly presumptuous of him, don't you think? How could he think either of us were bad people? He doesn't even know us. Who knows how Bruno saw it, Luke? I'm certain he was just being careful. After all, Don Paolo managed to sneak in with us. Bruno probably had his hands full and needed time to see what kind of people had entered the village. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to ask about that too. Luke, we really should get started here. You can ask me your next question while we're climbing. Impatient. Okay, so crank is gone. So we've only got 2, 5, 7, and 8. Okay. We're getting there. Oh, okay. Next one. This is very, very elaborate. Aw, not another locked door. Whoever built this tower must enjoy watching people suffer. Well, my boy, are you just going to stand there and complain about it? No. Leave this puzzle to me. Okay, go ahead, 10-year-old boy. Solve the puzzle to a giant fortune. You need to solve this magic square in order to proceed. A magic square is a set of numbers organized in a square so that adding any string of 3 numbers can be horizontal, vertical, or diagonal result in the same total. 1 and 2 have already been placed in the square for you. Complete the rest of the square to open the lock. Okay, well, I'd say that probably 9 would be like that because it needs to be in line with 2 very low numbers. Okay, I think it's right. So 15.
How does this sound?
Let's see. Yay! Okay, cool. I thought my math was okay. Yay! Yep, cool. Oh, I didn't realize it was diagonally as well. Oops. I was only doing the addition of each row. Oh well. I got it! The door's open now! Good show, Luke. So what was it you asked me earlier? I'm all ears now. I wanted to know when Don Paolo snuck his way into the village. It seems that like he followed us here. The only way into St. Mystery is over a drawbridge. Plus, I doubt Franco would let in such an obviously evil character as Don Paolo. Yes, to be honest, I still haven't quite worked out how Don Paolo entered St. Mystery myself. It seems that after he made his way in, he tried to stay at Beatrice's inn. Oh, so that's the man who ran out on his bill. Makes sense that it was Don Paolo. Why do they keep saying his name? So that weasel did himself up to look like Inspector Chelmy, snuck into the manor and... Hold on. When did he kill Simon? We'll get to that in a moment. We must keep climbing. Well, he was a robot, so you can't really kill him. Come along. Okay, keep going up. Hey, it's the explorer guy. Let's talk to him. Ah! Oh, okay. That makes so much more sense. He speaks lots of languages, which is why giving him... He spoke French, so I then gave him a French accent. No, he's been speaking lots of different languages. Okay. Retract my earlier statement. That wasn't French. It was French, and then it wasn't French, because Konnichiwa is definitely not French, and neither is amigo. Oh! Ah! Konnichiwa, amigos. I'm so glad to see other people. I thought I'd be wandering around this place forever. How did you get in here? There's no way you solved all those puzzles. Je ne sais pas. It just happened. Un momento. I wandered the sewers. The next thing I know, I'm here. Take it as it isn't the local hotspot my guidebook promised it would be. I'm just going to keep giving him random ass accents because he travels everywhere. How curious. So where is it you'd like to go? If you can go down these stairs, you can return to the village. Just make sure you don't fall into the large hole by the entrance. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Zizi? It should be enough information to get me there. But may I ask one more favor? All this talk of stairs has reminded me of a nazo, I know. Answer it for me, por favor. Okay. Jim, Mike, Steve, and Tom are standing on the stairs. You know the following about them. Jim and Tom are not next to each other. Steve and Mike are one step apart, and Tom is on a higher step than Steve. So which of A, B, C, or D is Jim? Jim and Tom are not next to each other. Okay. So... they... Okay. Jim and Tom next to Steve and Mike are on one step apart. So either this... Oh, I can't draw. The green or the blue... Green and the blue, or the red and the brown are Steve and Mike. Tom is on a higher step than Steve. So Steve cannot be red. I need to write this down. Okay, D. The answer is D, apparently.
That should do it.
Grazie. Now I'm ready to go back to the village. That was a female voice. What a strange fellow. Professor, do you suppose that man is human? I believe so. He's an odd one though, isn't he? And I think he rocks up in other Laytons as well. I've never seen such an explorer with such a poor sense of direction. Stranger still is how he entered St. Mystery. I don't think even he knows how he did it. Perhaps his presence yesterday was another reason why Bruno felt compelled to hide the crank. Okay. This is a rather rickety looking staircase. Oh, it just keeps going and going and going. It seems that we're faced with another puzzle lock, Luke. Oh, I meant to ask you, but our run-in with that explorer distracted me. How did Simon, you know... All in good time, my boy. First, we need to solve this puzzle here. It looks like quite the challenge. Hopefully, it's not as confusing as the last one. This maiden has been captured by a wicked wizard and is trying to escape the castle. Castle armed guards, however, are blocking her path. Slide the blocks out of the way to move the red one out of the exit to the right. Her freedom depends on it. Oh, so it's just another one of these, but just with a bigger block. Okay. Whew. That took a while. Yay! We're almost there though. There we are. The door should open now. Amazing as always, Professor. Now, about Simon, what exactly happened at the manor? Didn't Don Pelo really do away with Simon? Ooh. There's been a few. I mean, I think they did say murder previously, but there's been a few things that obviously translation or with, you know, PG ratings and that the cafe, why I was so confused with the cafe is because it was drawn like a bar or like a pub or something, but obviously they couldn't promote drinking, possibly with the English release to make it like PG or G or something, and possibly only PG. I've got to check it. That they just decided to call it a cafe instead of a bar, which is really, really confusing. Okay, so do away with Simon. I'd say so. This is just my theory, mind you. I think that Don Pelo followed us to the manor. That's where he met Simon or came across him, as the case might be. I suspect Simon already had collapsed when Don Pelo found his body sprawled on the floor. Just like with Raymond. So maybe Simon had also stopped functioning properly, huh? I guess all the robots break down sooner or later, and when they do, Bruno comes to collect them. Then he fixes them here in the cellar of the tower. Oh, do you suppose the noises from the tower are actually the sounds of Bruno's machines working? I think you're spot on, Luke. That must be why people began to associate the disappearances with the roaring from the tower. Don't forget that. Despite his particular appearance, Don Pelo is a scientific genius. Therefore, he probably realized why Simon had stopped moving. If it weren't for the golden apple, Don Pelo likely would have left St. Mystery right there. I'm sure he was eager to take the robot apart and learn how it works. And that must be when he decided to disguise himself as Inspector Chelmy, right? Oh, sorry, wrong inflection. That rat made up the whole murder story on the spot. But that's not the whole mystery. Come, Luke, we must keep moving. I'll explain the rest as we go. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So number 7 and number 8 have been solved. Let's keep going. What is she doing up here? Oh, do we have to talk to you? Oh, no. Fancy meeting you here, dearie. How'd you like to try a little puzzle I made up? How on earth did she get up here? She must have overtaken us at some point. Funny, I didn't even see the old girl pass us. Quick whispering amongst yourselves and try a puzzle already. It's your humdinger. Ugh. Okay. You've placed 1 joker and 4 aces with different suits face down on the table. Use the hints below to determine the position of each card. It's another one of these. The club is to the immediate right of the heart. Okay, so the club is the immediate right of the heart. Just for instance, let's put them there. Neither the diamond nor the joker is next to the spade. Oh, club, not spade. Neither the diamond nor the joker is next to the spade. Okay, so that means they have to be separated. So that can go there. Neither the diamond nor the spade is next to the heart. Neither the joker nor the diamond is next to the club. Okay, so the club is to the immediate right of the heart. Yes. Neither the diamond nor the joker is next to the spade. Yes. Neither the joker nor the diamond are next to the club. Yes. Neither the diamond nor the spade are next to the heart. Yep. That should be right. And if that's wrong, this game is stupid. Yeah, there we go. This is what I needed for the gym one, to be able to actually write. I should have written it down on a piece of paper. It probably would have made it easier. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, take that. That's the answer, right? Well then, I guess I'll be off. Come visit me sometime. Yeah. Seriously? That's it? I guess she followed us in here? Okay, now I can go forward. Hey, we're at the top! Are we? Or not? No, we're not at the top. We're just on the landing. Just like I thought, there's another puzzle locking this door. It looks really difficult, Professor. Luke, my boy, haven't you learned by now? No puzzle is without an answer. Now we simply need to find the answer. Try your best. Puzzle 99. Use each of the numbers 1 to 9 exactly once to fill in the blanks to complete this equation.
That should do it.
Yay.
Every puzzle has an answer.
I'm not good with math. Ah. It's a door. Creativity and persistence. Luke, as long as you have these, no puzzle is beyond you. And math. Really. Professor, I was just thinking... Do you remember the picture we found in Lady Dahlia's room? The one of the Baron's former wife, Viola, holding a child who appears to be a young Flora. Of course. That's the one. It's uncanny how much Lady Viola looked like Lady Dahlia. Do you suppose Baron Reinhold... Oh. Do you suppose Baron Reinhold's diary entries were talking about Lady Dahlia? Sharp thinking, my boy. I believe it went something like this. The craftsmanship of it's simply remarkable. It reminds me of my sweet Viola when she was alive. That's the one that tipped me off. Professor, do you suppose Lady Dahlia is actually a robot built to resemble Lady Viola? That's entirely possible, maybe even probable given the circumstances. But if so, what a terribly sad story these entries tell. Do you remember what the next entry said? Flora doesn't like the thing at all. I've seen her run away from it on multiple occasions. Recently she spends more time playing by dear's Viola's grave than anywhere else. I'm sad to say I doubt Flora will ever take to it. I can't blame her as I've changed its personality. I feel terrible forcing that change on Flora, but I couldn't just bear to see it like that anymore. Viola, there can be never another you. You were my first, my last, and my only. The Baron agreed to the construction of a robot for Flora that was identical to his late wife, but living with a machine that was so similar to his wife must have been too much for him. Thus he decided to change the robot's personality, and so Lady Dahlia was created. As she was originally created as a mother figure, she must have gone through a confusing transition. Professor, do you suppose these robots feel sadness? Honestly, I'm not quite sure, but I have a feeling that each of these robots has something not unlike a human heart. What do you think? I hope that they do. Okay, so number 5 has been solved. Okay, I think I'm going to leave this episode here. I know it's not the end of the chapter. We're going to leave it here. So we've got one episode probably left, I think, and it might just be climbing really to the top of the tower and sorting out the last couple of mysteries. Thanks for sticking around with me. Malachi is back now, so you won't have to put up with me for much longer. Probably only one more episode.